Stay on the line. Work from home. Chapter 7. A young boy is crawling in the crawl space under the house. Crying uncontrollably and moving swiftly, he stops once he reaches the furthest corner. He placed his back on the wall, breathing hard. He kept looking back to see if someone followed him. In a distance, there was a man yelling, "See what you made me do?" The man repeated that over and over. Pow! A gunshot rang off. Detective Bickerstaff sat up fast in his bed from the nightmare, holding his gun, soaked in his sweat. He tapped the barrel of the gun on his forehead, trying to pull himself together. He sat at the edge of the bed and places his gun on the cooler he uses as a nightstand. His studio apartment is very small. It looks like a garage for the most part. Dumbbells, camping gear, and duffel bags scattered all over the place. If you take away his bed and kitchen table set, the only other furniture is his workstation. His workstation is very impressive. State-of-the-art computer, printer, fax, the works. Even his suspect board is better than the one they have at the station. When you hear someone say their work is their life, that's an understatement in his case. He got up and walked to the refrigerator, opened it, and stood there staring at 2 cans of spicy hot V8 and a carton of eggs. He grabbed a can, closed the refrigerator, then walked and sat down at his desk. He opened the V8 and drank half while pressing the start button on his computer. Still holding the can as the computer started loading, he opened the bottom drawer on his desk. He reached in the drawer and pulled out a bottle of Tito's homemade vodka. He placed the bottle between his leg, clutching the bottle with his thighs while he twisted the top off. He poured the last of the vodka in the V8 can, then placed the empty bottle back in the drawer. He took a sip, then put the can on his desk as he typed his password with his other hand to get into his computer. His phone started ringing. "Fuck," Detective Bickerstaff said as he jumped up out his seat to get his phone. He listened hard to locate his phone. He pulled the phone from under his pillow, then answered it. "Hello? Captain, I hate to bother you on your day off, but we may have found Randy Johnson, the lead engineer from the radio station. I emailed you the information on a John Doe that was found in an abandoned RV in a freezer on ice. The tattoos seem to match up, but all his fingers are missing," said Sergeant Harris as he was stopped by Detective Bickerstaff. "What? Did you say his fingers were missing?" "Yes, Captain. From the second knuckle to his fingertips. Gone. His face is too disfigured to make a positive ID, so we are trying to match his scars while waiting on his dental work to come back. I need a new set of eyes, so check your email and do your magic." "I'm on it." The detective sat back at his computer and opened his emails. Strolling through, reading the notes that were followed by graphic pictures, he started printing everything. He stood up, grabbed the V8, turned it up, and finished it off. He took the can and shot it like a basketball in the trash can next to the refrigerator. As the printer stopped, he gathered all the papers and sat at his desk. He started reading the notes thoroughly over and over, trying to make sense of all it. 30 minutes went by, then he dialed Sergeant Harris. "Hello, Captain." Sergeant Harris answered. "Are you at the station?" Detective Bickerstaff asked. "Yes, I'm in my office." "Great. I want you to look at the notes the Williams couple gave us on the people that were in their home the past month. You will notice that Randy Johnson's name wasn't on the list, but his fingerprints were on their back door. Randy was supposed to be on a Bahamas cruise which didn't check out, so we automatically put him on top of the suspect board. You're following me?" "Yes, but Randy has no phone records since Monday the 18th, the same day his cruise was boarding. He received a call from a blocked number, then he disappeared. Now, let's think for a moment. What if Randy was dead before someone broke into their home? Okay, I'm following you, but who would go through all this just to frame a dead person? Plus, what would be their motive for killing Randy? That's what I'm trying to figure out myself. One thing we do know is that Randy designed the program board at the station. Therefore, if anyone had the know-how to override the system, it would have been him." "Exactly. We agree on him being extremely capable of taking over the station. But you're losing me. Are you saying he could have been dead already when the station was hijacked? Yes, I'm not trying to lose you. But even you said this person was a thinker. Getting Randy's prints was too easy. Also, there are no other prints. Not even the people who live in the house. I believe the prints were staged just to keep us from the real suspect. Damn, why didn't I see that? So, what's our next move? Don't answer. Start over and move a few names around on this suspect board. Sergeant Harris let out a long sigh, knowing it would be a long night. Exactly. But at the same time, dig deeper into Randy's life, finances, sexual relationship, hobbies. We need to see who he was connected to. This case keeps getting more complicated. First Rocky, now Randy. We have to work fast before the body count adds up. How should we handle releasing his death? Do you think the real murderer will surface or go into hiding? Hopefully into hiding, but we all know it's just a matter of time before they resurface. The least amount of information, the better. Therefore, keep the location where the body was found on a need-to-know basis. If the killer left anything at the RV, he might want to clean up his tracks. Put surveillance cameras around the RV, then link it to the department's mainframe. Let the team know if anything suspicious pops up, to inform me ASAP. Got it, Captain. Detective Bickerstaff pressed the end button on his phone. He looked at his suspect board from top to bottom. Randy Johnson, Stephanie Williams, Rick Stone, Tracy Dillon. Stay on the line. Death Kiss Chapter 8. August 3rd, 2016. MK3 drops the recorded intro. You back listening to the station that's blazing the nation. 96.9 FM Iron Sharpens Iron Morning Show. With yours truly, the infamous Lifeline, and my partner in crime, the lovely Pretty Pearl. Before we go to the phone lines to see what's on your mind on this Wild Out Wednesday, I have some uneasy news to deliver. One of our colleagues has passed away. Mr. Randy Johnson died at the age of 43. He's been with this station for 15 plus years, as the head engineer. Randy was mainly behind the scenes, never seeking any notoriety, a very humble brother. He will be missed dearly. As we try to move on with this great loss, we will continue sending our prayers out to Randy and his family. One love. Randy, aka Mr. Make It Rain, we miss and love you. If anyone has pictures or moments you would like to share in honor of Randy, send them to Iron Sharpens Iron Morning Show website. We will be taking the best memories and posting them on our social media outlets. Please make sure it's in good taste. Pretty Pearl instructed through the airwaves. We gotta pay some bills. We will be back in a moment, Steve said as they went off the air. A quiet moment passed briefly before Steve said, "Fuck." "What's wrong?" Pretty Pearl asked him. "Nothing." He looked around. "As a matter of fact, MK3, I need to step out for a minute. Keep the music going until me and Pearl get back." Steve waved to Pretty Pearl to follow him. Steve walked out of the booth and Pretty Pearl followed him. They took the service elevator and went to the roof. This is where they usually go when they need privacy. "What is it now?" Pretty Pearl asked with a tired look on her face. "I didn't do anything, so wipe that look off your face. But seriously, I need you to promise me that this conversation stays here." "Do you even have to say that? I mean, really?" She looked at him with a side eye. "I had to emphasize because I was told by Detective Bickerstaff not to tell anyone. So, to make a long story short, they found Randy's fingerprints at the back door of my house. The same back door that was broken into the day the station got hijacked." Pretty Pearl squinted her face. "They believe that Randy must have helped or pulled the strings to all this bullshit that's going on. Plus, he never got on that cruise. I don't believe this. I know you defended Randy. Be honest with you, I don't know who to trust. Ever since that day, I'm thinking about anyone who said some hating or jealous shit. Just think, you my dog, and I've been holding this info in for a while. Not saying I didn't trust you with it, but the fewer people know what's going on, the better. I'm still not understanding what Randy was doing at my house. Did you ask your wife? Really? Steve said with a smile. I'm letting the detective handle the questioning. But, believe you me, that crossed my mind. I just don't have time to be playing the jealous husband shit while someone out here threatening my life. Word. This crazy. I could imagine. Be a soldier. Pretty Pearl posed, flexing her muscles. You silly. You already know I'm good. I got the 40 on me right now, word. You know what's funny, though? No, but I'm sure you will tell me. Not saying I'm scared, so don't think I'm scared. But not knowing who out to get you is different. Even when I was in the military, I couldn't respect mines in chemical warfare. To me, that's like sneak fighting on some sucker shit. I can do the hand-to-hand. Even shooting at each other is cool with me. This not knowing who's after me is about to drive me crazy. He dropped his head. Fuck that, Pretty Pearl said as she lifted his head up by the chin. If anybody was built for the storm, it's you. Look at me. They stared in each other's eyes. Meeting you has been one of the highlights of my life. You inspire me, motivate me, aggravate me, even guide me with your warped philosophies. In other words, you too strong to be weak and too smart to be dumb. Just man up. Be careful and precise. I don't see this being the end of you. I need you, Pretty Pearl said as her eyes got watery. Steve hugged Pearl, then as they let go, something happened. They locked lips in a passionate kiss. It was only for a second, but it was powerful. Once they let go, it was awkward. Oh, damn, I think we need to head back downstairs. Steve backed up, putting space between them. Definitely, Pretty Pearl said as she fixed her lips. The elevator ride was long and too quiet. He could hear her heart beating. You better not tell anybody what just happened, Pretty Pearl said with a frown. Say no more. The elevator opened and they got off. As they walked in the booth, MK3 said, yes. MK3 knows how to do everyone's job, but gets a little nervous, answering the phones or talking to guests. He looks so relieved. Steve grabbed his headphones and sat at the table. Pretty Pearl tried not to look at him. They always cherished their tight friendship without crossing any lines. Now, look at them. MK3 drops the recorded intro. You back listening to the station that's blazing the nation. 96.9 FM Iron Sharpens Iron Morning Show. With yours truly, the infamous Lifeline, and my partner in crime, the lovely Pretty Pearl. Caller, you're on the line with Lifeline. State your name and where you are calling from, Steve said. My name is Veronica, and I'm calling from Shelby, North Carolina, the caller said with a southern accent. Hey, Veronica, what's on your mind? Me and my boo thing went on a cruise about 2 months ago. Don't judge Lifeline, but we decided to have a threesome with this lady we met on the ship. I mean, that wasn't our intention, but she latched on to us. See, she was with her teenage son and his friend. She propositioned us with the thought of having a threesome. At first, we thought she had too many drinks. Then the next day at breakfast, she said it again. Curiosity killed the cat. For real, for real. After everything went down, we decided that it stays on the cruise. Truthfully, I secretly wanted to continue the threesome on land. The experience was too perfect. Now let's fast forward to last week. The lady hit me in my messenger saying she misses me and she will be in Charlotte on business next Friday. I wouldn't mind seeing her. She was cool and sexy, but I'm scared to tell my boo. I need some advice. Please help me because time is ticking, Veronica said. Whoa. I could come at this in so many ways. Too many ways, to be honest. Let me start off with one of my favorite sayings. Everything ain't for everybody, sugar, Steve said in his grandmother's voice jokingly. Some things some people can handle while others struggle with the same thing. That's why I believe you and your dude made a life-altering decision without dissecting the outcome thoroughly. It's typical. I've been there too many times. Usually, we make these decisions quicker than normal, when pleasure, money, fun, or excitement can be gained. The old cheese in the mousetrap, Needless to say, that trap is on your neck right now. By you secretly wanting to see Fantasy, yes, I gave her a name. Fantasy was supposed to be a memory that was shared at sea. Now she's that memory you can't shake and has ultimately reached out to you. If you choose to see Fantasy, you must tell your guy first. You two went into this together truthfully, therefore, continue in that manner. Just be prepared for all the questions on you and Fantasy communicating. It will get complicated before it gets easy. With that being said, I hope you seeing her is worth it. That's just a little food for thought. I could have left you a feast, but I need to be brief. I hope that helps you, Veronica, Steve said in an unconfident tone. On this show, I usually play the doctor, helping to bandage some situations. After we pay some bills, I got a few tips, or should I say helmets and knee pads before you jump on a tandem bike for 3. MK3 take us to break with Neo. Story time? That song's the truth. Holla! They went to commercial. The off-the-air sign lights up. You killed that, Pretty Pearl said, bobbing her head to the music. Thanks. Steve held his phone scrolling through his text messages. Stephanie, 9:49 a.m. Call me sweetheart when you get a second, Steve text back. Will do, Dick Tracy, 10:00 a.m. I need you to check your schedule for tomorrow. I need to talk to you in person. Thank you. Steve texts back. I will let you know. Steve laughed to himself every time he sees the detective's call or text because he saved his name as Dick Tracy. He really is a dickhead on the low. MK3 drops the recorded intro. You back listening to the station that's blazing the nation. 96.9 FM Iron Sharpens, Iron Morning Show. With yours truly, the infamous Lifeline, and my partner in crime, the lovely Pretty Pearl. Before I give you a few tips, I will see if Pretty Pearl, my partner in crime, has a woman's perspective on this matter. You got something, Double P? Wow, you kinda put me on the spot. I feel you nailed it, but if I had to add to it, I would say we need to manage our moments better. I'm a firm believer that people come in your life for a reason, season, or lifetime. They all start with the moment our paths cross. Trust and believe, I love an off the cart. New York hot dog with the works. The moment the vendor passes me the hot dog, I have to take a bite before I take a step. See, that first bite is always the best. That moment is priceless. Now that gas or upset stomach you get later is the truth of that situation. We still choose the moment over the agony to come later. But when it comes to your relationship, the agony might be your demise. We gotta control what our lips desire if we want to keep our home or our lives together. Because Tums can't ease everything. That's all I really got. Like I said, you nailed it for once. Just plain, but I really want to hear these tips, Pretty Pearl said with a smirtle on her face. You go first, lady. I see you, he said in a ratchet chick voice. Okay, back on a serious tip. These are a few ways that might help a few crashes. 1. Make sure that you, as well as the person you about to do this with, can handle it. You will truly never know until it goes down. It's better to do a threesome with a sex partner and not your mate. The less you love the person you decide to do it with, the less you will feel if it goes a million ways wrong. A little to the extreme, but you get it. 2. The third wheel shouldn't be in any of your circles. A lot of circles have been destroyed by the threesome aftermath. It makes it hard to add a person you don't know, but it's harder to cut off a friend that you have love for. 3. Some things, once opened, can't be closed. Ignorance is bliss and blisters hurt. Pretty Pearl cut him off. What? Where do you get this from? Please break that down for me, Pretty Pearl said, looking at him with a frown. Okay, we all heard the saying, ignorance is bliss. Bliss means perfect happiness, great joy. In other words, by us not knowing, we keep that happiness or joy going. I used blister as knowing, just me playing on words. A blister is caused by friction, burning, or other damage. We risk the pain of a blister by opening doors that are not necessary to be opened. Also, depending on where the blister pops up, we try our best to heal it fast and keep it concealed. I think deep down inside, we all want our cake and eat it too. But are you willing to wear your cake on your face? Or should I say the cooties? I kill me, but seriously. When you stir up the unknown, the bliss that you know today can turn into a blister overnight. You get it, stir bliss blister. I kill me? He chuckled at himself. Corny. Pretty Pearl drew out the word for effect. To all you ladies that be crushing on Lifeline, know that his humor follows his wisdom. Trust and believe, Pretty Pearl said as she rolled her eyes at him. Whatever, you know you love it. We gonna leave you with tweet featuring Missy Elliott? Oops, while we pay some bills. You know I'm feeling myself, holla at your boy. The on-the-air light went off. You stupid as fuck, said Pretty Pearl. Sometimes I don't know if you're serious or playing, but I always seem to learn something, even if I try not to listen to you, MK3 said as he walked out of the studio. Steve smiled as they took shots at him. Damn, let me call my baby, he thought to himself. Ring, ring. Hey, sweetheart, Stephanie answered. What's good, baby? Everything okay? Yes and no. I just need some special attention tonight. The contract for the Lakeview property fell through. Hopefully, after we crunch the numbers, we can make another proposal, Stephanie said, sounding downcast. Sorry to hear that, baby. Do you have anything in mind? He asked, hoping that it wasn't too much since it was Wednesday. Not really. Oh, Stephanie said with a long pause. What, baby? Spit it out, he said, thinking she was trying to set him up. If it's not too much, I would like a body massage with a side of pork. She hit him with her seductive voice. No problem. 50 Shades of Chocolate at your service. I'll see you tonight. He kissed her through the phone. You're the best, sweetheart. Love you. Love you more. Steve ended the call, smiling, thinking about tonight. Still holding his cell in his hand, he rested his elbows on his thighs. He rocked back and forth in contemplation. You would have thought he was in a rocking chair the way he was rocking. Steve's a pleaser by nature and a planner by habit. He smiled to himself as he thought of things to do to make his wife snap out of her funk. Lifeline, lifeline. This dude? Lifeline. MK3 yelled to get his attention. What? Damn, you ain't gotta yell? MK3 scared him. Steve didn't notice that he even came back into the studio. Don't yell at that boy. He's doing his job. I need you to snap out of it. You know you can't do more than one thing at a time, Pretty Pearl said, smiling. MK3 just shook his head, trying not to laugh. Then he started the countdown. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. MK3 drops the recorded intro. You back listening to the station that's blazing the nation. 96.9 FM Iron Sharpens Iron Morning Show. With yours truly, the infamous Lifeline, and my partner in crime, the lovely Pretty Pearl. Stay on the line side of pork. Chapter 9. Later that night. Steve was sitting on the bed, looking at everything he set up. The massage table with the white sheet draping over it. An ice bucket half filled with 2 bottles of wine and a glass wand sex toy. He smiles every time he sees that glass wand. When he uses that on her, her look is priceless. Rose petals everywhere, including their bathroom. Getting impatient, he grabbed his phone to see if he missed her call. She's supposed to call him when she is 10 minutes out. No missed calls. He got out of the bed and turned on the Isley Brothers' greatest hits. He fixed a glass of wine, then got back in the bed. Damn, he jumped up, almost wasting his wine. A fucking petal with a thorn stuck him in the ass. Laughing to himself, thinking he's glad no one saw that. That's what he got for being butt naked. He heard the door open downstairs. Sweetheart? Stephanie yelled up the stairs as she locked the door. Don't come upstairs yet. Open the card on the steps and follow the instructions. He yelled down the stairs as he went to get her bubble bath started. "Okay," Stephanie said. "Take off all your clothes, put on this blindfold, and prepare to be pleased as a queen should. Wait for Adonis, your escort the king has blessed you with." She read the letter out loud with a smile. Then she did as the letter instructed. After he got her water going, he poured a glass of wine for her, then sat it on the dresser. He grabbed his silk robe, put it on. Steve walked downstairs to get the queen. "Hello, queen. I am Adonis, your servant for the night. Stand up, give me your hand, and follow me," he said in the best African voice he could do. It probably sounded more Arabic, but oh well. She smiled as she held his hand and the rail at the same time. Steve led her into the bedroom. "Stay, my queen." He went to get her glass of wine off the dresser. "Wine, my queen, that the servants have made for you for this night." He led her hand to the glass. She took the glass and took a sip. "Wait here, my queen." He walked into the bathroom. The water wasn't where he wanted, but she blew that. He told her ass to call him when she was 10 minutes out. She never listens. Steve lit the candles that was around the tub and on the sink. Then he walked back in the bedroom, grabbed her empty hand and said, "Follow me. Your bath awaits." They walked into the bathroom. He helped her into the tub while making sure her wine didn't spill. Once she sat down safely, Steve said, "You can take off your blindfold." "Thank God," Stephanie said, taking the blindfold off. "Where are you, sweetheart?" To her surprise, he had stepped back into the bedroom. "No sweetheart here, only Adonis," he said with a powerful roar. "Okay, Adonis. Can I get more lights so I can see what I'm doing?" "No lights in this castle, only the candles and the moonlight. Just let me know when you're done and ready for your towel," he said, while lighting the candles in the bedroom. "Will do." She giggled and smiled from ear to ear. Still setting everything up, Steve checked the amount of coconut oil for the massage. Everything seems to be perfect, just missing one thing, the side of pork. His man thong with a pig face in the front. He pulled it out of the sex kit bag. Boy, if the barbershop got a whiff of this. He remembered when he bought this from Red Door off Independence Boulevard. He was shopping for a few things to spice up the bedroom. The sales rep recommended a silver bullet and a glass wand. Walking to the register to pay for the bullet and wand, he saw a few nurses' costumes. Steve asked the rep, "Do you have any costumes for men?" She pointed him to the men's section, which wasn't a straight man selection. Then he spotted the pig suit. He thought it seemed cute and funny at the same time, especially when his penis hangs out the pig's mouth. Smiling to himself, he untied his robe and put on the side of pork. He looked in the mirror at himself, then started stretching his penis to make it lengthy. "The queen is ready for her towel," she yelled from the bathroom. "Come in, my queen." Steve tied his robe and grabbed her towel. Walking to the bathroom, he heard the shower running. She got out of the tub and was taking a shower. "I'm here, my queen," he said, holding the towel. She turned the water off and stepped out the shower. He placed his finger over her lip and said, "Don't say a word. Just listen and let your body do the talking." Then he started drying her off, tapping her ever so gently as she stood there. He knew it was killing her when he got on his knees to dry her feet. Looking at her shaved hot box, he blew at it a few times just to tease her. After he dried her off completely, he placed her blindfold back over her eyes. "I want to see you, sweetheart," she said, blowing and damn near air humping. "Silence, queen." He spanked her bottom. Steve grabbed her hand, guided her to the massage table, and laid her on her stomach. He scooped some coconut oil with his finger, then put it on her back. As he massaged her shoulders hard, she moaned of pain, then blew out with relief. 10 minutes later, he rolled her over on her back. He took the blindfold off and she smiled. He oiled her from head to toe. "Are you ready for the pork?" "Yes, I'm about to erupt." Steve took off his robe. He was so erect it didn't make any sense. She grabbed his penis and tried to stroke it as she laid on her back. He pulled away from her and grabbed the wand out the ice bucket. He started making circular motion on her nipples with the glass wand. Then he made it down to her hot box. He did the same on her lips. As he circled her hot box, he looked at her face. She stared at him, biting her bottom lip, looking drunk. He stuck the wand in her box. She inhaled so deep and arched her back. He took his left free hand, reached up to her face, and put his middle finger in her mouth. He leaned over and started sucking her clitoris as he played with the wand inside her. The more he sucked, the harder she sucked. Then she grabbed his penis again. Steve took the wand out of her and threw it on the bed behind them. He leaned her up and turned her. He positioned her between his legs, sitting on the edge of the table, and started kissing her. They kissed so passionately and hard, it was like they were tongue-fucking. He reached around her and got 2 ice cubes out the bucket. He placed the cube in his mouth, then scooted her to the edge while laying her back. Her butt hung a little over the table. He bent down and blew the ice out his mouth into her hot box. Then he leaned up and gave her the pork she'd been asking for. "Fuck, sweetheart, shit," Stephanie said with a moan. "You like my queen?" Ironically, it was feeling too good. He dropped the bad accent. They went to the bed, then back to the table where they ended. He walked to the bed and flopped down. She laid on the table for a moment. "Sweetheart, you really went all out with the accent and everything. I don't think you ever went this hard. Don't get me wrong, you know how to romance me when you want to, but this was your best role play ever." She got up from the table. "I know. I should have watched Coming to America so I could have killed the accent." He chuckled to himself. "You stupid." She walked to the bathroom to clean herself up. "Baby, bring me a bath cloth. My leg's too weak to walk. I like the table sex, but I always get a Charlie horse," he told her, rubbing the cramp out his leg. "You just old?" she said, while throwing a bath cloth to him from the bathroom doorway. It landed on his shoulder. He took the bath cloth, wiped off, then threw it on the bedroom floor. "You must have really enjoyed the sex." "I did, but why you say it like that?" "Because you gave me a good hot bath cloth. When I finish too soon or you're trying to be greedy, you give me a cold toilet rag." Steve laughed. "Why you always being extra?" She smacked her lips, then laughed. Steve picked up his phone to see the time. It was only 7:45. It felt later than that. Scrolling through his text messages, he noticed he didn't get back with Detective Bickerstaff. As he looked at the calendar on his phone, he realized he have a busy month ahead. Hosting, walkthroughs, and a few mentoring engagements. He does have a light day on the 12th and the 24th. He closed his calendar and dialed the detective's number. "Hello?" Detective Bickerstaff answered. "Hello, Detective. I hate to get back at you so late, but my schedule is very tight this month. I have a light day on the 12th and the 24th. Does that work for you?" "That's fine. It will have to be on the 24th. On the 12th, I will be out of town. I will call you in the AM of the 24th, and we will go from there. If anything vital comes up that can't wait until then, I will contact you." "No problem. Enjoy the rest of your night." "Will do. Have a good night." Detective Bickerstaff ended the call. "Hey, baby," he said, still looking at the phone. "Yes?" Stephanie responded as she started running a shower. "Detective Bickerstaff wants to talk to me, but never really told me about what. I might be tripping. I just want this investigation to be over." He put his phone on the nightstand. "It will be over soon. We just have to be patient." Stay on the line back home. Chapter 10, August 12th, 2016. Dazing into the clouds, barely hearing the stewardess asking the passengers if they needed anything, Detective Bickerstaff was daydreaming. He was seeing a child at the park with his parents, the mother pushing the boy on the swing while the dad sits on the park bench reading his paper. The ice cream truck stops on the corner, at the main entrance of the park. The woman noticed her son looking at the ice cream truck. She tells her son to stay here as she walks to her husband to get some money for the ice cream truck. The husband gives his wife some money with a frown and a scowling demeanor. The wife brings back the cones. One for the child, her husband, and herself. The boy gets off the swing and sat next to his parents on the park bench. The family looked so happy as they ate their ice cream. A bumblebee circled the child's ice cream. He fanned the bee. The bee came back, but the child didn't see it until it stung his chin. The child dropped the ice cream and started crying. The mother gave her husband her cone as she tended to her son. The father watched her baby her son until he got fed up. The father threw both cones to the ground and started taking off his belt. The mother stood in front of her son, trying to stop her husband from beating him. The father cringed his eyes and started beating the wife like a dog, as witnesses watched. Someone started yelling, "Sir," in slow motion. "Excuse me, sir. You need to put your seatbelt on. We're preparing to land," the stewardess said. "Okay, no problem," Detective Bickerstaff said. She startled him. He fastened his seatbelt and closed his eyes to relax. The detective has flown circles around the globe, but is always tense during takeoff and landing. He closed his eyes waiting to land, thinking about his itinerary. He needed to grab some flowers before going to the gravesite. The plane landed rougher than normal. He almost passed out because the harder the plane shook, the tighter he closed his eyes. When the plane finally stopped, passengers started clapping with joy. "This is your Captain Chris Easterbrooks. We want to thank you for flying with us. Enjoy the beautiful weather of Tucson, Arizona," the pilot said over the intercom. After the lady beside him got her belongings out of the overhead cabin, the detective stood up and stretched. He grabbed his sunglasses out of his shirt pocket and put them on. As he started walking out the plane, a stewardess yelled, "Sir!" while running toward him. Sir, I think you forgot something," the stewardess yelled, holding a card. "I didn't bring anything, just my glasses," Detective Bickerstaff said as he turned toward her. "It's my card, with my number. Take it and use it. I will be here for 3 days. Maybe we can get a drink or two," the stewardess said, holding the card. "I don't know if I will have any time on this short trip, but I'm flattered, truly." "Don't be flattered. Be grateful." "No pressure," the stewardess said as she placed the card in his shirt pocket. "Have a nice day, handsome." She turned, then walked away. "Same to you." He exited the plane. The detective stepped out of the airport and took a deep breath of the Arizona air. The cab area was packed. A few Uber signs were being held by drivers. He pulled his phone out his pocket and tapped his Uber app. A limo pulled up as he was typing his information on the app. The limo driver held up a sign, "Lisa Pierce." The stewardess from his flight walked toward the limo as the driver got her bags. The driver opened the back door for her. Detective Bickerstaff tried to turn his back so she wouldn't notice him waiting for a ride. Tom!" she yelled, trying to get the detective's attention. The detective finally looked in her direction, and she pointed at him. She motioned for him to come to the limo. He walked towards her, still typing on his phone. "Did I miss your call, Tom?" the stewardess asked. "No, and my name is William, not Tom," he replied with a confused look on his face. "Okay, William. I just knew by your attire you were Tom Selleck. You know, the great Magnum PI? By the way, my name is Lisa, if you haven't looked at the card," Lisa said with a smile. Detective Bickerstaff pulled the card out of his shirt pocket. "Lisa Pierce. Let me apologize for my vagueness. I just have a lot to do and really don't know where to start." He looked Lisa over. "You're preaching to the choir. No need to explain. If me giving you a ride could help you, let me know." "No thanks. I wouldn't want to impose. Before you say another word, let me say a few things. You just listen. Today is my 38th birthday, and I'm going to paint the town red. I could have been any place in the world, but I decided to come home. I no longer have any family or friends here. Therefore, I can live spontaneous with no witnesses. The driver will drop me off at the Lowe's Ventana Canyon Resort, where I will be for 3 days. Spa treatments, all-day mimosas, and the nightlife. I'm going to have a blast," Lisa said with the excitement. So, jump in, and after the driver drops me off, the limo is yours. No strings attached. Maybe if you wrap up everything on your agenda, we can get a drink. No pressure." She finished with a devilish grin. Detective Bickerstaff got in the limo, and the driver closed the door. "Happy birthday and thanks." "Thank you, and no problem." She poured herself a drink from the limo bar. "Would you like bourbon or scotch?" "Bourbon, please, and hold the rocks," he answered. "What did you mean about my attire and this Magnum PI stuff?" Curiosity bore his face. "I was just being silly, but your jeans and Hawaiian shirt are a little 80s. Then your cowboy boots and side holster say police." She passed his drink to him. "Very funny," the detective said, while taking a sip. "So, you just let men with guns accompany you in your limo?" "Definitely. Ones with red hair and a Steve Harvey mustache. If they let you on the plane with your gun, you will definitely pass my background test. Is that right?" he said as he brushed his mustache with his fingers. "They gave me a hard time for flying with my piece. Captain William Bickerstaff at your service. Just kidding. Although I am a detective in Charlotte, North Carolina. Born in this town, but I moved all around Arizona most of my adolescence. I moved so much. I never had more than 2 birthdays in the same place. I've been settled in Charlotte for over 15 years, Detective Bickerstaff said as he passed Lisa his glass. "Do you want another drink?" "No, I have a 3-drink cutoff before 11 a.m. That was your first. We didn't offer alcohol on the flight," Lisa said, looking at his face. The detective raised his eyebrow and smiled. "Okay, don't let me be a bad influence. But if you change your mind..." She raised her glass, then sipped her drink. The driver stopped the limo in front of the resort, popped the trunk, and got out. The driver opened the door on the detective's side. Detective Bickerstaff tried to get out the limo to let Lisa out. Lisa pulled him down, then slid across his lap. He was shocked and embarrassed as the driver looked at her. The bellhops got the bags out of the trunk. Lisa stood up, fixed her skirt, and blew a kiss at him. "I hope to see you later. Remember, no pressure." With confidence, she walked off. The driver closed the door, then got back in the limo. "Mrs. Pierce left instructions to take you where you need to go. My name is Dexter. I will be your driver for the evening. Where would you like to go?" Dexter asked. "I need to go to South Lawn Cemetery." "Okay. If you need anything, press the button on the door that says, 'Driver,'" Dexter said as he raised the privacy glass. The detective pulled out his cell phone and started scrolling through his notes. He was still perplexed at how Randy's fingers were never found. Then Rocky's paws were cut off and put in his mouth. Do the fingers and paws mean the same thing, or nothing at all? He rambled these thoughts in his head as he looked over the notes. Getting more frustrated, he pressed the driver's button. The privacy glass lowered. "Yes, sir? How can I help you?" "Yes, I need you to stop at a Dollar General and a liquor store." "No problem, sir," Dexter responded cheerfully. "Is that a British or English accent I hear from you?" "Neither, sir." "You hear New England? Boston, to be exact." Dexter said with a slight laugh. "I'm sorry, Dexter. Maybe it's the bourbon. Can I trouble you with a trivia question?" "Sure, sir. I will try to help you if I can." "Thanks. What does it mean when a dog stuffs his paws in his mouth?" the detective asked, while looking at his phone, trying to imply he was reading the question. "Don't really know what it means when it's a dog, but we all know what it means when a person does that. You know, put their foot in their mouth. My mother used to say after the foot comes out, 'A fist is sure to follow.' Bless her heart. I hope that helps your game, sir." "Thanks. Your answer couldn't have been better." The detective purchased plastic flowers from Dollar General and tequila from Wildcat Drive-Thru Liquors. Still waiting to reach the cemetery, he brainstormed out of control. The detective was wired different. The more he went into deep thought, the more he seemed to disconnect him from reality. Kind of an out-of-body experience, placing him in the victim's shoes. never actually seeing the killer but seeing how it played out from different angles of the crime scene. The suspect appears to him as a silhouette figure. Sir, we are here," Dexter said, while holding the door open. "Okay, I will be back in a few. I won't be too long." He grabbed his bags, got out the limo, and started walking into the cemetery. Stay on the line. Trust. Chapter 11, August 14, 2016. "I'm sorry, Mommy. I'm sorry," the detective was yelling as he tossed in his sleep. In his nightmare, he's kneeling on his mother's grave as she screams at him. You left me. I'm sorry, Mommy," he said as his tears dropped on her grave. His father was buried right next to his mother, so close they could have shared plots. "How could you do this to our family?" Detective Bickerstaff said as he looked at his father's tombstone. "I hate you. I fucking hate you," he repeated as he dropped his head on his mother's grave. His father's hand started breaking through the grass of his grave. He reached out and grabbed the detective, trying to pull him underground. Get off me! Get off me!" Detective Bickerstaff yelled as he tried to fight his father off. "Wake up, William. You're having a nightmare," Lisa said as she tried to shake William to wake him. The detective rolled over and started choking Lisa. All he could see was his father, still not aware he was choking her. Lisa tried pulling his hands from around her neck, but his grip was too strong. Lisa dug her nails into his knuckles as deep as she could. The detective let go of her as he started to come to. "I'm sorry, are you okay?" He tried to help Lisa sit up. Lisa kicked him as she backed up to the headboard. "Get the fuck away from me! You could have killed me, you lunatic!" she screamed through watery eyes. "You need to go. Now! Do you really think I would hurt you on purpose? I don't know what you are capable of. I saw the devil in your eyes while you choked me. Please leave before I have to call someone to make you leave." She grabbed her cell phone off the nightstand. "I'm sorry you feel that way, and I'm truly sorry this happened. You don't have to call anyone, just let me get my things, and I will leave you alone." The detective gathered his things. "Great," Lisa said as she watched him closely. "I hate that we had to end like this. I mean, this has been the best 48 hours of my life. I know it meant a lot to you as well. I wish you would hear me out and understand. I pledged my life to protect. If you only knew more about me." He got dressed. Lisa didn't respond. She stared at him blankly, taking in all he was saying. "Sorry once again," he said as he placed her room key on the table. Then he started walking to the door. "Wait, I might be a fool for doing this, but I will let you explain. You just stay over there and make it quick." She reached on the side of the bed to get her bra. The detective turned around, dropped his bags and paced, trying to get his words together. "I was having a dream, a bad one. I was at my parents' gravesite. This might sound crazy, but hands were trying to pull me into my father's grave. I guess when that was happening in my dream, you were trying to wake me up. I didn't know it was you I was choking. I hope you believe me. I was just reacting to the hands in my dream, not to you. That's the truth. I want to believe you. I watched you for a second tossing and turning. Therefore, I believe you were dreaming, but I feel it's more to that dream. Some of the things I heard you say in your sleep are not matching up with the dream you are telling me about. Either you come clean completely or just leave. As I said, in my dream, I was at my parents' gravesite. I was kneeling on my mother's grave as she's screaming at me, you left me. Bawling like a baby, I responded, I'm sorry, Mommy. I looked at my father's tombstone next to my mother's. I started screaming, I hate you, and how could you do this to our family? I repeated it as I dropped my head on my mother's grave. A pair of hands grabbed me and tried to pull me into my father's grave. That's the truth. Detective Bickerstaff recalled as he sat down in a chair in the living room. Do you feel guilty for your parents' death? Lisa sat on the edge of the bed, looking concerned. I really don't want to talk about this. I was completely honest with you about my dream, but my parents' death is more complicated. Please don't take it personally. No need to explain, I understand totally. So, whenever you feel comfortable enough to share your past with me, no pressure. Just know, before I started sailing the skies, I had my own psychiatric practice. I'm a great listener, and I heard you say that these last 2 days have been the best in your life. Lisa smiled as she put her panties on under the cover. Oh, you heard that? He started walking towards her. No, mister. You stay over there. You're still in the doghouse. I need to get the feeling back in my neck before you can come back in arm's distance. Plus, we've been sexing like dogs in heat. Let's use this time to get to know each other a little more than just sex. Can I share something with you and you only? She moved the cover off her legs. Definitely. Lisa got out of the bed and put on her robe. She sat on the couch as she placed her feet on the coffee table. I came to this resort for more than just their great mimosas. You see, one summer when I was 7, my family and I stayed here for the weekend. My parents, my sister, and I loved coming here. Instead of my dad buying us a pool, he would bring us here. We had been coming here for as long as I could remember. I loved the room service, plus my sister and I could wander all over the resort. One day I'm chasing my sister, playing tag on the 2nd floor. We heard a couple talking loud as housekeeping tended their room. My sister put her finger over her mouth to hush me as she crawled to get close to the open door to the room. We loved playing spy and detective. Our father was a police officer. He would play with us at home. The closer we got to the door, the more the man sounded like our father. The woman complained about him treating her like a whore, and she wasn't going to keep quiet. The man said, "This is not the time or place to have this conversation." He said, "I told you I was going to leave my wife, and we could be together." My heart dropped. My sister looked at me and turned red. Then we stood up to look in the room. We saw our father kissing this woman. He pushed the woman away once he noticed us. He walked to the door and said, "I can explain." My sister screamed, "I hate you," then ran out of the resort. That was the last time I saw her alive. She was hit by a car outside the resort. I'm sorry to hear that. Thanks. I didn't only lose my sister, I also lost my best friend that day. I never told my mother what I saw my father doing. I couldn't hurt my mother anymore, seeing her holding her daughter in the street. It took 5 officers to pry my mother's hands off Brittany. Brittany was only 2 years older than me, but she knew everything. I've never told anyone that story, except my therapist, Lisa said with a sigh of relief. Wow, the detective said, shaking his head. My parents' death was... Lisa stopped him. Stop. We can only do one sad story at a time. I didn't share to force you into sharing. I just wanted you to understand that everyone has a past. And believe me, so many can't move past theirs. Now I need a kiss and a hug. I thought I had to stay arm's distance away. Just shut up and kiss me, Lisa said as she stood up and dropped her robe. Stay on the line. Barbershop, Chapter 12. August 19th, 2016. What up, fellas? Steve said as he walked in the barbershop. What up? Nothing. Chillin'? Echoed the shop as he walked to his barber. What's good, baby? Steve said in a happy tone as he gave Fox dap. Nothing, B. Trying to make $1, Fox said as he continued to shape up the customer in his chair. Yo, I know I don't have no appointment, but see if you could squeeze me in, he said low, damn near whispering to Fox. Really? On a Friday? Like me and the missus don't have plans. Only you. My bad. I'm definitely not trying to inconvenience you at all. Let me see if somebody else got a spot open. He looked at the other barber's customers waiting. Negative, I got you. When I finish with him, you next, but you killing me. Fox gave his customer a hand mirror. That's why you my guy. Steve stood next to him looking in the big mirror on the wall. He knew Fox would slide him in. They do this all the time. He know the tip gotta be real strong, a $100 or better. When the customer got up, Steve sat down and put his hat on his lap. Fox walked to the back of the shop behind a wall. Steve started playing spades on his phone. Damn, he'd been gone for over 15 minutes, he thought, looking at his phone. Normally, Steve would harass Fox to hurry up, but he's on his time today. Fox came from behind the wall with a box of Bojangles chicken and a sweet tea. He sat behind Steve on a stool, eating while talking on his cell phone. Yo, you want some of this chicken or fries? Fox tapped the box on Steve's shoulder. Nah, I'm good. It smells good, but I'm on my fish and beans shit. I haven't had any meat since New Year's Eve. Word. Steve turned the chair to face Fox. Yo, I'll talk to you later. Peace, Fox said as he got off the phone. My wife tried to get me on a green smoothie diet. She about that healthy stuff. I'm just scared that if I do it with her, I might lose too much weight. I'll be looking like your ass going up and down every other month. Word? Fuck that shit. Love me for me. I hear you taking shots. I got no comment until I get out this chair. Mama ain't raised no fool before you give me the George Jefferson. He laughed as he said that. Fox finished his food, then went behind the wall again. Another 10 minutes went by before he even started cutting Steve. If Fox wasn't one of the best barbers in Charlotte, he would have stopped messing with him years ago. Appointment or no appointment, he does everything on his time. This been going on for over 20 years. Steve doesn't claim too many people as family that's not blood-related, but Fox is family for sure. Finally, he started cutting him. Yo, we need to talk at the crib when you're free, Fox said with a serious face. No doubt. Everything good with you? I'm Gucci. We need to talk about what Slim told me. You know, what happened to Rocky and your car. I can't believe you didn't holler at me. That's neither here or there, but we need to chop it up. Fox had a concerned expression on his face. I got you, Steve said, with no intentions of talking with him at all. I'm going to kill my nephew, he thought to himself. This dude walked up to Fox and whispered in his ear. Fox reached into a drawer in his station and gave him a pill bottle with the label scratched off. The dude gave him dap and slid money into Fox's hand. Come on, my dude. I thought you stopped. Now you just do it in the open? Steve said, squelching his mouth with disappointment. Yo, I gave you my word. I'm done. This just some Viagra I move from time to time. I might have left the hard stuff alone, but I keep a little side hustle, just something light. I hope it stay light because I can't get the DA to pull any more strings for me. She divorced my dude Larry, so that bridge is burned forever. He did her dirty, and she think I knew it the whole time. I had to lie, but I don't think I convinced her. Dude look young to be buying dick pills. Yo, you'd be surprised. Even high schoolers popping them. Word. Fox lined up his mustache and goatee. Damn, that's crazy. If they using it now, what they gonna do when they get old and really need it? I thank God I haven't had to cross that bridge yet, Steve said, barely moving his lips, trying to not mess up his line. Well, if God ever go on vacation on you, I got him on deck. You heard? Hurry up and get me out this chair before I get struck by lightning with your dumb ass. What you got over there, South Cac? Fox screamed across the shop at DJ. DJ is a booster-op-art hustler. He sells everything under the sun, or at least everything he can fit under his jacket. Sometimes he has things Steve want, but he makes it hard for him to buy from him. See? He's gay. Which doesn't bother Steve. That's his choice. But every time Steve gets something from him, DJ likes to stand to close when they're doing the transaction. Steve think he does it on purpose. He breaks every man code. I got you, Fox, DJ said in his raspy voice. DJ was talking to all the customers as he walked to Fox's station. He had a duffel bag with wheels full of merchandise. "Hey, Mr. Radio Man, what's on your mind? I know you going to patronize my mobile business, Lifeline?" DJ asked. "For sure. Wait until he finishes my cut and I'll see what you got." Steve was trying to give Fox a hint so he could hurry up, but he stopped and was going through the duffel. "Yo, B, he got those Beats speaker pills you were talking about getting," Fox said as he showed him the gray speakers. "DJ, how much for the Beats speakers?" Steve said, still sitting in the chair. $90 plus a free commercial shout-out on the radio. "Nah, just $90. Steve reached in his pocket and peeled off a $100 bill. "Yo, pay him for the speakers and hold my change until you done cutting me," he said to Fox, trying to get him to deal with DJ. Fox laid the speaker on the counter in his station, then passed DJ the money. As DJ was going in different pockets to find Steve's change, Fox's phone rang. "Yo, I gotta take this call outside. I'll be right back." Fox walked out of the shop, answering his phone. Time was starting to get tight. It's already 7:35 p.m. And Stephanie booked their reservation at 9. With their busy schedules, they learned to plan date nights in advance. "Here goes your change," said DJ as he passed Steve the $10. As usual, he was too close. "Damn, DJ, if you get any closer, you might as well be sitting in the chair with me. Shit, the cell phone in your pocket almost cut my knee open. You playing me too close." He snatched his change from him, heated. "My bad, big dog. And that wasn't my cell phone," DJ said as he gathered his duffel bag together and scurried out the shop. Ding, ding. Steve looked at his cell. It was Stephanie texting him. "Stephanie, where are you?" He didn't respond. He would call her on his way to Davidson. If he would have told her he was in Charlotte, she would have flipped. "Can you hurry up? I've been in this chair over an hour," he said to Fox as he walked up. "Oh, Mr. No Appointment rushing me. Wow, you're unbelievable." Fox picked up his clippers. "That's why I like it when I rock the baldy. On my MJ shit. When you bullshitting, I can knock out my own cut. Whatever." Fox finished cutting Steve, then cleaned his face and neck with alcohol. He passed him a mirror, but he passed it back without even looking in it. Fox blew the hair off him with this air blower and removed the apron. Steve gave him $110, dapped him, and put his hat on. Usually he doesn't put his hat on because Fox feels that is disrespectful to his work. Today he felt like fucking with him for taking so long and for leaving him to deal with DJ. He grabbed his speaker and dapped up the rest of the barbers and a few customers as he walked out of the shop. Ring, ring. Damn, it's Stephanie again. He didn't answer it. He got in his car and headed home. 15 minutes later, he called her back with the music blasting. "Hello?" Stephanie answered. "Hey, baby, I don't know how I missed your call. The music must have been too loud." He turned the music down. "Whatever. I know you be screening my calls. Why didn't you text me back?" "I did. Check your phone," he said, trying to sound convincing. "Nope. No message from you. I can send you a screenshot if you think I'm lying." "You right. I didn't press send, my bad. I was at the shop trying to get a cut when you texted me. I'm on my way home now. It won't take me long to get dressed. See you in a few." Steve was trying to rush her off the phone. "Don't hang up. I was calling you because plans have changed," Stephanie said with a pause. "No, they haven't. We're definitely going out. All that shit I had to go through to get this cut. Plus dealing with that sweet and low thuggish, ruggish bone DJ. Please, I need to go out. We still going out. We just have a third wheel now." Lakeisha broke up with her man for the 18th time, and she could really use a friend. Please understand, she's not fortunate to have someone like you. "Oh, now you fortunate? Flattery will get you everything. It's cool. At least she's one of your friends I like. I will see you in a minute, baby. Peace." "Deuces," Stephanie replied,